From prehistoric to present, my name is Ethan. Welcome to a Friday edition of Creature Guide Live Daily News. I will be handed random articles. Some will be funny and some will be more serious. So let's dive right into the first article. Okay, so from IndianDefenseReview.com, are spotted leaping from the ocean off Japan's coast. A stunning once in a lifetime moment was captured off the coast of Japan when a rare and mysterious creature leaped from the ocean. So let's see. It looks like an orca and possibly lighter pigmented. A breathtaking photograph of a rare albino orca breaching the waters off Japan's coast has been spreading across news outlets, including a feature in the New York Post, captured by renowned wildlife photographer Noriyuki Hayakawa. This sighting provides an extraordinary glimpse into the world of marine life, showcasing the rarity and beauty of albino orcas. This once in a lifetime encounter occurred off the coast of Hokkaido, Japan, where this unique white killer whale stunned both photographers and scientists alike. It's not every day that an animal, let's see, orcas or killer whales are already a magnificent sight in their own right, but an albino orca is a once in a decade phenomenon. Sounds like they're spotted somewhat often off the coast of Japan. Norioki Hayakawa.
Oh, wait, are they spotted or is it being albino
Well,
is
that's what I meant, the, albino. I mean, there is an orca population off the coast of Japan. So, a photographer with over a decade of experience in capturing these majestic creatures had never seen one before. The photographer's excitement was palpable when he described the experience. This photo means so much to me. I've spent over a decade photographing orcas, and this is the first white one I've ever seen. Hayakawa's encounter was captured during a routine whale watching tour, yet the moment was anything but ordinary. The photographer boat was informed by a nearby tourist vessel about the rare sighting, and as he approached, the white orca began leaping from the water, offering him an unprecedented chance to snap some incredible photos or shots. Oh wow. Yeah, and they're moving at a decent speed. So where is he or she, whoever it is? That's a, looks like a healthy pod. Wow. Oh, okay, he's one of the bigger dorsal finned one um, as well. Specifically, a dorsal fin refers to the large fin on their back. It's also characteristic. It's not very common within these, larger cetacean groups or the larger group of whales, but, since even though these are technically dolphins, they're still part of the whale family. And it is interesting because you only tend to see this, type of characteristic outside of them, like these marine reptiles from the, Mesozoic era. But besides that, this is a really good sighting. They rewinding it? Anyway, white orca's tail appearance has piqued the curiosity of scientists who believe it could be suffering from one of two rare genetic conditions, albinism or leucism. Albinism refers to a complete absence of pigmentation, while leucism involves a partial loss leading to different shades of white. The significance of these conditions goes beyond their rarity. They also carry potential consequences for the orca's health and social dynamics within its pod. I think that's being debated. Because it seems to be getting along with them very well. Like wherever they're headed or whatever they're hunting, everybody is in perfect coordination. So it at least at that moment doesn't seem to be that that orca has any um, you know problems, at least regarding its pigment. Let's see. Unlike regular orcas, whose black and white coloration serves to camouflage them in the ocean, an albino orca stands out dramatically against the darker waters. This makes them more visible to both predators and prey, potentially affecting their survival. Well, the thing is that orcas have a wide variety of different techniques when it comes to hunting, and it can also vary depending on the population. But let's say many tend to associate orcas with simply hunting seal pups or adult seals. Technically, they can take on any species of seal, even the large. northern elephant seals weighing over 8,000 pounds or around 4 tons. They will use their tail to simply stun large shoals of fish, and I don't believe they rely on camouflage too much in those instances. So, let's see. However, their rarity also adds to the mystery and intrigue of these animals, with experts eager to study the genetic factors at play. Hayakawa, who has long been an advocate for orca conservation, hopes that more people will come to appreciate the beauty and rarity of these creatures. So, oh, that's a weird picture. So let's see. Anything else? So one of the most intriguing aspects of Hayakawa's photographs is the fact that the albino orca was swimming alongside five regular colored orcas. The contrast, it seems like there were many more than that. Or maybe on it looks like towards the front of the pod there were at least five. Contrast between the white male or the white whale and its black and white companions is striking, prompting researchers to speculate about the pod's social dynamics. Does the albino orca have a special role within the group? Does it possess unique abilities or characteristics that affect its relationship with the other orcas? They they might, yeah, they might see it as quite unique. Who knows? The behavior of albino orcas within their pods has been the subject of speculation among scientists. Okay, so anything else? That's it. Oh, I hope this albino orca, um, this albino seems relatively healthy and might have
So,
pups or not
I
pups,
don't understand what it was saying the problem is with it. I mean, I know what it was saying, but it
doesn't seem to be there's any problem.
just has a pigment difference.
Yeah. Um,
I'll do the second. Say we're having technical difficulties.
we're having technical difficulties.
Oh, that was interesting. Okay, I figured out what the problem was.
Oh, so it's just okay. All right, moving forward from phys.org, bearded vulture nests found to have hordes of cultural artifacts, some up to 650 years old. That's interesting. So many people have probably seen birds picking up small pieces of man-made materials like strips of a plastic bag or a paper litter and taking them into their nest. This behavior appears to be fairly widespread among birds. What's unique about some larger bird species, like certain vultures, eagles, and falcons, is that the same nest is used for centuries if it continues to be in a safe space. Generations, they really just use that term. Okay, I think it means if it's not had access to any predators, any other birds of prey, then it will just simply continue to use it. Generations of birds will continue to occupy and add materials to these nests for hundreds of years. These behaviors are well documented in the bearded vulture, Gypaetus barbatus, a threatened species that builds nests in cliff caves, rock shelters, or cornices. The bearded vulture can most often be found in European mountain ranges, particularly the Pyrenees. The Pyrenees is the mountain range that is between northern Spain and southern France. There's also small populations of wolves and brown bears in the area. The environment in many of these regions is dry, particularly in the cave like structures where nests are found, creating an ideal environment for long term preservation. Over a decade ago, a group of researchers in Spain had the opportunity to examine 12 of these nests in detail. Their study was recently published in the journal Ecology and discusses a number of surprising findings. They say between 2008 and 2014, we carry out intense research focusing on 50 well preserved historical bearded vulture nests in parts of southern Spain, where the species became extinct around 70 to 130 years ago. A total of 12 nests were examined, and the remains were identified in okay, uh, let's see. The team rifled through centuries worth of vulture eggshells, remains of prey, and nesting material. Among these, they also found 226 items that had been made or altered by humans, providing a window into past ecosystems and human cultures from the region. The hoard included items like a slingshot made from esparto grass, shoes, a crossbow bolt, a decorated piece of sheep leather, and a wooden lance. So, so the following below, I need to. Wow, interesting. Even more surprising was that several items were well over 600 years old, according to carbon 14 dating. Results from one shoe dated back to around 675 years ago, while the decorated leather dated to around 650 years ago. However, the dating revealed a range of time periods, with a piece of basket dating to about 150 years ago. Interesting. Thanks to the solidity of bearded vulture nest structures and their locations in the Western Mediterranean, generally in protected places such as caves and rock shelters with relatively stable temperature and low humidity conditions. They have acted as natural museums, conserving historical material in good condition. In addition to the human made items, the researchers found 2,117 bones, 86 hooves, 72 leather remains, 11 hair remains, and 43 eggshells. Wow, that's what's with all of the hooves? The team notes that this study and its findings can provide information about temporal changes in the trophic spectrum, past environment, and the wild and domestic species present. They also call these nests a powerful tool for investigating and understanding more about the ecology, biodiversity trends, and environmental changes that the vultures are subject to. The findings could potentially inform habitat restoration and species reintroduction efforts. Interesting. So, yeah, apparently, it's not different species of smaller birds that tend to pick up different species of trash, or even animals such as ravens, crows. Well, they're some of the smartest of any birds out there. But bearded vultures, this is quite interesting. And there's evidence that they've been doing this for at least hundreds of years, so probably longer. Anyway, let's go on to the next article. Hopefully, their populations also continue to rise in this part of Europe. Okay, so from the dodo.com, man steps outside to see a lost baby riding on his golden retriever's back. I could not believe my eyes. Steve Lamplow is used to being surrounded by nature. His home outside Portland, Australia, sits on 5 acres of land. A lot of things happening over in Portland, where his dogs love to run and play. They regularly see wildlife passing through, especially koalas come to eat leaves from the massive mana gum tree in his garden. So obviously he lives adjacent to a forest. Because if you have koalas in the area, you definitely have forest. And they always keep a respectful distance. But last week, Lamplo witnessed something he'd never seen before. Wow, okay, there's a baby koala on the retriever.
I just love the dodo.
Um, when barking drew him outside, Lamplo called for his dogs. Denny, his 9-year-old golden retriever, came running, proudly carrying a surprise on her back, a koala Joey clinging to her fur. I couldn't believe my eyes at first, and then I thought, how the heck am I going to get it off her? It was so funny watching her run as the koala looked like a Joey bobbing up and down. Well, I mean, the koala is a Joey, but this is interesting. Eh, that's funny. Denny, whom Lamplo describes as very friendly and affectionate, has a strong maternal instinct. While koalas often wander through the property, she has never gotten this close before. The dogs are usually intrigued when koalas pass by, but this is the first time anything like this has happened. He looks so proud. Like, aren't you
Yeah,
proud of me?
I brought home somebody new.
Oh, I thought he was going to show the koala on the underneath him. Lamplo guesses the baby might have either fallen off her mother or was off exploring when Denny came to check on her. Um, hmm. Looking for warmth and comfort, the little Joey may have mistaken the golden retriever for her mom. Both the baby and Denny did not look stressed and actually appeared to be enjoying each other's company. Denny was very excited to show me and seemed to have a chuffed look on her face. While Joey spend the first 6 months of their lives in their mother's pouch, after which they begin to explore the world outside by riding on their mother's back until they are about a year old. With breeding season running from August to February, koalas are on the move, especially around the town of Portland, where koalas enjoy the surrounding bushland and blue gum plantations. He seems to know what he's doing. He's controlling Denny, but
He found his own big pet.
yeah, it seems that way. Lamplo knew he had to separate the Joey from his pup as quickly as possible. He only hoped he could break the Joey's strong grip without upsetting either animal. I told Denny to sit and walked behind them and put my hands under the koala's underarms and pushed outward so the claws became loose. I then walked over to a tree and after I released it, it climbed up the tree. I went back after 15 minutes and the mum must have heard it and was up the tree with it. Wow, so I wonder if she was following them or this wasn't too far from where the Joey separated. So this is good to hear. So, okay, that's it. Yeah, that was an interesting story. I kind of wonder if that happens, often in certain areas, but luckily I was reunited with its mother. So let's head over to the next article. Okay, from the BBC.com, the remote isle where pygmy hippos roam. So let's take a look. Okay, so TY, meaning Big Island in the Mende language, is just 11.9 square kilometers, yet it shelters pygmy hippos, endangered chimpanzees, and some of the world's densest primate populations. Its recent UNESCO recognition marks an exciting new chapter for Sierra Leone. So we're talking about Western Africa. The journey to Sierra Leone's first UNESCO World Heritage Site is an intrepid one. From the capital, Freetown, travelers trace 240 kilometers of tarmac highway before bumping along hours of rust-red, potholed roads to the banks of the Moa River. From there, a dugout canoe ferries them to Taiwan Island and the Gola Rainforest National Park, which is part of the new UNESCO inscription. These crossings often take place by torchlight in the pitch dark of night. Visitors are rewarded for their efforts, though, ensconced in a clearing among liana vines, javelin like lengths of bamboo and 12-meter or 39 feet tall Pipton Piptadnistiastrum trees lies a remote wilderness camp where visitors can stay overnight off grid. The camp is an uncomplicated place, a handful of mesh-sided wooden huts containing mosquito net-veiled beds, a bandstand-style communal area for eating, and a rustic shower block. Yet people do not come here for home comforts. They visit to stay in an otherwise impenetrable part of the ancient West African rainforest where they can experience the symphonic soundtrack of the jungle at night. I remember lying in bed and listening to the cacophony of sounds going off around me. Let's see. One night I woke to the sound of something moving right outside my tent. I froze. My heart was racing. I imagined I was about to be eaten by some predator. Next morning, we spotted the footprints of a pygmy hippo right next to camp. To think such a secretive, rare animal had wandered past while I lay there, it was both terrifying in the moment and magical in hindsight. Let's see. Let's see. So under its thickly knitted canopy lived ginger whiskered red colobus, Diana monkeys, sooty mangabes, and critically endangered western chimpanzees. We suspect from our camera trapping that there might be three different groups of western chimpanzees on the island. Dr. Ivan Bakar, who's been conducting primate research here since 2005, there is one group we think might have about nine individuals. So let's see. The inscription notes that the area hosts more than 1,000 plant species, 113 endemic, or 113, like only 113 are native to the region. Hmm. 55 mammals and key species like the African forest elephant and pygmy hippos. Okay, so let's see. Um, that's the hut. Let's see. Where's the thing? Just looking for anything about the hippos. So let's see. Gosh. Anything else? Okay, well, unfortunately, there's not much about the hippos. I think that was just partially just an advertisement for the camp.
That's terrible.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Okay, well, let's head to the next article. Okay, so from goodnewsnetwork.org, Marshall Islands experience explosion of wildlife 1 year after invasive rats were removed. Wow, they got rid of all the rats? That's a new one. Okay, so two small islets crucial to the resiliency of the local environment in the Marshall Islands Republic are witnessing a major ecological revival. Island Conservation, a global nonprofit organization with a mission to restore islands for nature and people, has successfully eradicated invasive black rats, allowing the native forest and seabird population on Biker Atoll and Chemo Islet to recover. Yeah, black rats are one of the worst um, mammalian invasive species. The rats have had a devastating effect on their delicately balanced ecosystems on certain islands in the Marshalls. Biker Atoll, one of the smallest atolls in the country, is located 360 miles or 580 kilometers north of the capital, Mahuro. The reef surrounds a lagoon roughly 14 square miles. The Hemo Islet is a 16-hectare inhabited coral island that's known to be one of the major feeding grounds for green sea turtles and a seabird sanctuary. With the arrival of invasive species such as black rats on these landmasses, the native environment has been heavily disrupted as native plants, seabirds, and other animals fall prey to the rats' scavenging. It would be hunting. In addition to turtles, Gemo had been used for generations as a place to gather and hunt, but had become something like an ecological graveyard since the rats arrived. Having already eradicated black rats on dozens of islands before, island conservation trained local teams with the best practices to remove the rats via poison without harming the native wildlife. I was thinking they were using dogs since dogs are, some of the best rat killers outside of poison. I thought they were going to avoid using poison, but in some ways, you could say that's much quicker. After 1 year, a trip back to these islands, accompanied by Island Conservation, the Marshall Islands Marine Resources Authority, Ministry of Natural Resources and Commerce, and community members from Utrecht Atoll. found that the efforts to eradicate the rats had succeeded and that wildlife was bouncing back. Recovery of the native seabird population has positively impacted the link between land and sea. The nutrients from the seabird's droppings play a critical role as natural fertilizer for the plant population, which anchors the local food web. After only 1 year, the transformation is dramatic. A colony of 2,000 sooty terns, so these are seabirds, where there was previously none, was feeding hundreds of chicks. We also counted thousands of native Picionia grandis tree seedlings across just 60 monitored plots on the forest floor. In 2024, we found zero. Native forests are crucial for seabird nesting and are critical to carbon. Obviously, it's a plant, it absorbs carbon. It's like saying elephants are good oxygen absorbers. No kidding. Okay. Um, the restoration of the atolls and islands will have lasting. Okay, anything else? Participating in the first rat removal workshop in Toga 10 years ago allowed them early on to access successful eradications on small islands by themselves. But I think this is pretty much it.
Doesn't look like I picked some good ones this time.
Yeah, this was kind of funny with the rats. Well, actually, they're not usually mentioned. I mean, it's you tend to hear, well, there's too many. This they successfully removed most of them, or some cases all of them. Okay, so let's see what's going on here. From NBC Montana, hiker injured in Idaho bear encounter. Excuse me. So let's see. Missoula, Montana, a hiker was injured in a bear encounter near Squirrel Creek in Fremont County, Idaho, on Tuesday afternoon, September 30th. I wonder if this is a recent picture. Idaho Fish and Game officials say the man who was hiking alone on the south rim of Squirrel Creek was charged by a bear that came at him through thick timber from a short distance away. The bear bit the man as it ran past, then continued into the forest. Despite his,
I heard the bear is suing for defamation.
yeah, sounds that way. Despite his injuries, the hiker managed to make it out on his own and seek medical help. His condition has not been released. Fish and game staff have posted warning signs in the area to alert visitors of recent bear activity. Officials say the bear's actions appeared defensive and were likely the result of a surprise encounter. Yeah, male. So it's probably just an annoying male grizzly bear, and the whole thing with surprise and quote encounters. No, they just sent somebody's nearby and they think, you know what? I think I should just charge him just to do it. It's literally what grizzly
Do you
bears.
even sneak up on a grizzly bear?
Yeah, there have been instances, but it knows that it's stronger than you, and yeah, so that's happened, especially with grizzly bears over on the Rocky Mountain front or just in the Rocky Mountains in general, which is probably where this took place. I think that's where Fremont County is. Um, they're very aggressive.
So they think you might make a nice tasty treat.
Well, that too, but this one, it's almost like I don't know what game exactly he was playing. Anyway, no management actions are planned at this time. That's interesting. I mean, honestly, I don't really agree with every single time, like, there's, a grizzly bear attack on a person, like, it's a brown bear, it's part of just who they are, that they should all of a sudden be shot. It's one thing if it's continuously going after people, it's another where it's just randomly. I don't agree with, all of a sudden shooting it, especially since there's, a limited population if you don't have to. So let's see. The dodo. So, security guard spots a huge baby hiding in a corner of hospital parking lot. It was all tucked away in a little corner. Let's see where this takes us. Last month, workers at the St. Francis Hospital in Colorado Springs, Colorado, were shocked to find a baby black bear in their employee parking lot. Knowing the bear needed help, a hospital security guard quickly called Colorado Parks and Wildlife. When Aaron Burskide, a district wildlife manager for CPW Southeast Region, arrived at the scene, he didn't see the bear at first. After searching around for a bit, he caught a glimpse of a little furry face peeking out from a hole in the concrete. What? Whoa. This was not what I was imagining. This is interesting. When I got closer, I realized how small it was. Wow, it's actually not too uncommon for bears to wind up in parking lots in the Colorado Springs area. First guide had never seen a cub by themselves in a lot before. All alone and terrified, the bear had burrowed into a tiny corner. If the hospital staff members hadn't discovered the baby, the cub probably wouldn't have made it on their own much longer. And cubs are more than one? I think there's only one. Yeah, so, yeah, just kind of an odd place for his mother to stick him. The bear was definitely scared and nervous, just kind of tucked up in there with sad puppy dog eyes. First guide, another district wildlife manager named Demetria Wright, worked to carefully and safely remove the bear. From there, they transported the baby to the CPW office. At the office, the wildlife managers found that the baby thankfully didn't have any health concerns other than being underweight. Well, that kind of is a health concern, but yeah, I know what they mean. He wasn't have a certain disease. Yeah, he doesn't look bad. Somewhat good for a condition. They give him a tag. Seems that way.
You mean his ear?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like something's there.
Ended up weighing 22
Whoa,
pounds.
both ears.
Oh,
What? Does he have AirPods in his ear?
seems that way.
They look like AirPods, don't they?
Yeah, they do. It ended up weighing 22 pounds, which is very small for this time of year. Usually they'll be around 50 pounds or more, assuming they're getting all the food that they need to thrive. Theory that I have is that this bear was either a runt of twins or more likely a runt of triplets. After the bear had some water and some time to decompress, it was time for them to head to Frisco Creek Animal Care, a wildlife rehabilitation center. At the center, the wildlife rehabilitators will help the bear grow big and strong in a safe environment. So the amount of human interaction is very, very minimal, which is good for these animals so that they don't get reliant on human interaction in order to survive. In about 6 months, once the bear is strong and self sufficient enough to survive in the wild, they'll be released. Thanks to the hospital workers, the CPW team, and the wildlife rehabilitators, this little bear gets to have a second chance. Well, that's not Colorado. Looks like not Vancouver Island, but the adjacent Great Bear Rainforest over in British Columbia off the coast. So this is over in Canada.
Pull your mic into you a little.
So come next spring, when it gets released, it'll have all the natural instincts that bears should have and be a lot better off health wise at this point. Well, yeah, hopefully that black bear cub does well. Oh, okay. So let's move on to the next article. It's quite interesting. I mean, there's definitely several encounters with black bears heading into Colorado Springs, but that's a new incident. So, from SciTechDaily.com, Amazon communities deliver unprecedented conservation wins. Whoa! Oh, I was I was thinking of company. Okay, so wow, that's a big one. So he's carrying a it's an arapaima. Well, yeah, that wasn't hitting me. Interesting. Okay. New research highlights unprecedented conservation outcomes achieved through community-led management of protected areas in the Amazon at a time when many of these regions face increasing. Okay. Yep. The study outlines a promising approach for expanding effective area-based protection by building. Okay. Yep. It's not interesting. Um. Whoa. Those are big. If those are arapaima as well.
Your sound is bouncing.
Okay, let's head on to the next article. Okay, so from foxweather.com, cats among top 5 invasive pests in America's national parks. That's not something you often hear about when it comes to national parks in the United States. Usually it's places like Australia, maybe South Africa, but not really here. But considering there are millions of feral cats, I mean, it does make sense. The National Park Service says it manages 433 sites that cover more than 85 million acres across the country. I thought I was going to say something about the cats. So, the National Park Service. Okay, where are the cats? Okay, so he's atop a wall near Lowe's parking lot in Miami, Dade County, Florida. Oh, Dade. Oh, the National Park Service. Okay, yes, pretty obvious. Um, Okay, so well, okay, feral hogs, they're a big problem, especially over in the eastern United States, but somewhat you could say parts of the Midwest too, even to North Dakota and apparently Montana too in recent years. And they've been even making a bit of a presence over in different parts of Ontario, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and southern Alberta over in Canada. I'm guessing those are supposed to be fire ants. Those are also no, that's a different species though. Well, fire ants are one of them. It just says red ants. There's several different species of invasive ants over in the United States as well. Um, it just tends to be Argentinian fire ants as being one of the worst. They first were introduced to the United States, I believe, back in the 1930s, and then they quickly spread out throughout much of the eastern United States. I don't believe you find them in areas like New York State, but you definitely find them in areas like Texas, Virginia, Missouri. Is this supposed to be a base species of cedar? Oh, eastern hemlock. Um, oh, some residue. Oh, okay, so it's one of these plant diseases.
Oh, I thought this was all going to be animals.
It seems to be just talking about or just mentioning different invasive species. Asian beetles. Huh. National Firewood Month. I forgot what National Animal Month it's supposed to be. We're past Otter Awareness Week. So let's see. Um,
Thought it was Otter Awareness Month.
yeah, that would be preferable.
What was the one you read the other day that was for the entire month?
I don't remember. It's not hitting me. Okay, let's go to the next one. There's several invasive species of vines. Okay, from IndianDefenseReview.com, rare species thought extinct for 150 years makes astonishing return in Australia. Who are we looking at? Is he in the middle?
I don't see anything.
In a heartwarming conservation success story, the Shark Bay bandicoot, a species believed to have been extinct for over 150 years, has made an astonishing return to the wilds of Australia. I don't see a bandicoot. Is that him? I can barely tell.
This is a terrible picture.
This rare creature's remarkable comeback is thanks to the dedicated efforts of the Australian Wildlife Conservancy, whose recent discovery in the Pilliga State Conservation Area in New South Wales has provided a glimpse of hope for endangered species everywhere. So let's see. The Shark Bay Bandicoot, also known as the Western Barred Bandicoot or Marl, there's different species of bandicoot. So this species of marsupial over in Australia once roamed freely across Australia's arid landscapes. Yeah, foxes, feral cats. Let's see. So, once abundant in areas such as Shark Bay, the bandicoot's presence in the wild had all but vanished. So let's see. Oh yeah, it's specifically Western Australia. Over the years, various conservation groups and ecologists have fought to restore the species, but with little success until the Australian Wildlife Conservancy's recent interventions.
But what exactly is it?
So this is a very distant relative of the kangaroo. So this animal, it does have, yeah, long, there we go, a long nose. So this is primarily an insectivore. So
How
it's
are we
feeding on,
supposed to see that in that picture?
yeah, I wonder if there even was one in the picture. But yeah, this seems to be a somewhat younger individual. He doesn't seem fully grown, but he's approaching that stage. He might be a subadult. They're very small. They're only like a few pounds. Let's see. So in August 2023, the AWC launched an ambitious plan to reintroduce the Shark Bay Bandicoot into the Pilliga State Conservation Area, a remote region situated 260 miles northwest of Sydney. The organization successfully relocated 66 bandicoots from Shark Bay to New South Wales, marking the beginning of a rewilding journey that would take over a year to assess. The relocation initiative involved careful planning, including the creation of predator free zones, habitat restoration, and ongoing ecological monitoring. The goal was not only to give these animals a safe home, but also to help them establish a sustainable population in the wild. Despite the difficulties faced during the initial stages, the efforts have paid off, as evidenced by the latest discovery of a bandicoot family thriving in the conservation area. Oh, there they are. Okay. Wow. Okay, so that's a decent sized family. So, motion sensor cameras deployed monitor the Shark Bay bandicoots in the Pilliga State Conservation Area, photographed a female bandicoot with three of her offspring following closely behind.
Our kids are huge.
Yeah, they seem to be pretty healthy. Just looking for bugs. So, let's see. Aside from completely um, Okay, so aside from being completely adorable, it gives us great confidence that the bandicoots are breeding and that the population in the Pilliga is growing. This sighting represents a critical moment in the restoration of the Shark Bay bandicoot population and confirms that the relocation program has been a resounding success. So let's see. Anything else? No, that's it. Well, I'm glad that over in Shark Bay that the bandicoot population is rebounding, considering yeah they're pretty much extinct in much of the region. So this is really good to see. Hopefully, they have pretty good genetics as well. So let's move on to the next article. Hmm. Okay, so from NBCMontana.com, three grizzly bears relocated near Yellowstone National Park. So this might be a recent picture of mother and her cubs, probably back in the spring. So, wildlife officials say an adult female grizzly bear and her two cubs were relocated to the Grassy Lake Drainage, about a half mile from Yellowstone National Park's southern boundary, on September 27th. The bears were captured near Du Bois after being spotted close to residential areas, according to the Wyoming Game and Fish Department. Officials say the animals had not been involved in any conflicts, but were moved preemptively in consultation with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service and the Caribou Targhee National Forest. So the Caribou Targhee National Forest is over. It's technically on the Idaho side, so it's on the western part of the northern Greater Yellowstone ecosystem. Game and Fish says relocations follow state to federal regulations and are used as management tool. Okay, so what? That was it? Oh, okay. Well, maybe hold on a second. Maybe these are the female and her cubs, but we honestly don't know.
I have definitely picked some bad articles today.
Uh, oh, I hope that the cubs make it to adulthood and yeah, they do quite well. So let's see. From CBS6Albany.com, bear cub rescued from dog crate captivity returns to Adirondack. Adirondack Wilderness. This over in Canada? No, okay, it was the northeastern, lower 48 though. Oh. Okay, so that's funny. Okay, so they're going to have to, either rehabilitate him, maybe his mother's in the region as well? That individual seemed a bit larger, though. It's gone. The article. Okay, so yes, so for New York, a black bear cub was confined in a dog crate, has been returned, or once confined in a dog crate, has been returned to the wild after being rescued by New York State Department of Environmental Conservation officers. Back in June, the DEC says they received reports of an individual unlawfully keeping the cub at a residence. When officers responded, they say they discovered the cub in a garage in Fulton County, where it was being fed dog food. We're told the homeowner confessed to luring the cub into the crate after finding it nearby. The cub was seized and taken to Friends of the Feathered and Furry Wildlife Center in Greene County for care and rehabilitation. After growing to nearly double its size, the cub was released back into the Adirondack Wilderness last week by DEC Bureau of Wildlife staff. Well, I'm
Wait, is this in New York?
yeah.
Well, the bear's lucky he wasn't killed then.
Um, honestly, any state. But, yeah, this is, it's good to hear. He's been released back into the wild, and he was, um well, he's twice as big as he was when he was first rescued, so it's good to hear. So, okay, let's move forward from Men's Journal. Okay, this is probably going to be a funny one. Cruise photographer captures wild video of black bear fighting mother polar bear over carcass. What? Okay, this is a rare one. I've heard, of smaller barren ground grizzly bears, like in different parts of northern Canada or maybe even Alaska, um, somehow scaring off polar bears because this is a smaller subspecies of grizzly bear, like nowhere near the size of the Kodiaks, and somehow they're able to push polar bears off of carcasses. It's almost like the polar bears, they just don't want to deal with them. I'm like, yeah, we're bigger than you, but we can't stand your yelling. Anyway, it's let's see. It's hard enough for polar bears to find food, especially when
Are
they
you
have
calling
hungry.
black bears whiny?
No, no, the grizzly bears. Yeah, but I was mentioning that grizzly bears tend to be the ones that will compete like during parts of summer, early fall for usually like beached whale carcasses, or maybe even walruses. But polar bears just like that's it. This isn't worth my time. You can have it. Maybe I'll come back later. But one lucky polar bear stumbled upon exactly that, a meaty carcass that could feed the entire brood. Then came a black bear, and a standoff ensued. How? The wild footage was captured last week aboard the ultra luxury Seabourn cruise line as it sailed through the Torngat Mountains National Park, Nukvak Ford in northern Labrador, Canada. Okay, so this is amongst the Davis Strait, which hosts a little over 2,000 polar bears in the region. So, where we saw recently with the polar bear incident over, I think, off the coast of Labrador, a certain island off mainland Labrador, and then northern Newfoundland is part of the same population that is occurring here. So, but this is interesting. So there are black bears on both the mainland and over on the island. So Seabourn bills itself as the ultimate bucket list journey, filled with unique destinations, rare wildlife, and expedition experiences. And this experience was unlike any other for Seabourn photographer John Shedwick, who filmed the rare footage as guests on board witnessed the standoff.
Is this an advertisement for the cruise liner?
Maybe slightly. So, in a video obtained by Men's Journal, you can see a mother polar bear and her cubs scaling a rocky hill before stumbling on a meaty carcass. There's another polar bear, presumably a male given the size, going to town on the carcass. It seems the male polar bear is not at all bothered by the mother polar bear, one of her cubs taking a bite. But tensions boil over. prompting the mother polar bear and the presumably male polar bear getting into a tussle. It seems the male polar bear has had his fill, leaving the carcass to the mother polar bear and her two cubs. But then came a black bear looking for his share too. Black bear charges, forcing one of the cubs to run for their life. What? Okay, now here's the thing. Female polar bears are much smaller than the male polar bears. Female polar bears, let's say they don't really have much, haven't fully stocked up on fat, but at this time of year they would have. They can weigh as little as 7 or 800 pounds compared to like a 1600 or 1700 pound male. And sometimes they can get larger. So, there are certain black bears, let's say by October or early November, they can reach 700 pounds, especially Labrador hosts some of the largest black bears on earth, especially like outside of areas like North Carolina or Virginia. But those black bears tend to have access to different crop fields, whereas these black bears, they just have such large access to plentiful berry fields that they just become immensely fat. So let's see. Wow. Got gruesome here. I wonder if that's blood from whatever, like the whale.
Where's the
Uh,
black bear?
yeah, but this is an interesting altercation. So the black bear's presence triggers a standoff before they wrestle over the carcass. For Shedwick, the Seaborn photographer, was a one of a kind experience he described as something out of Renaissance painting. What? Where's the black bear? Is something here? Oh no. Ah, hold on a second. Let me just Um, also, it's weird depending on the time of year, especially right now. I mean, black bears should be mostly focusing on fruit, even the polar bears to an extent. But I mean, they'll still take advantage of meat. So, okay, they're going up. Yeah, one of the more mountainous areas of Newfoundland, Labrador. Oh, that's not a whale. What's he munching on? Is that a seal? Is it a reindeer? Is it a
I'm
moose?
still looking for the black bear.
There's woodland caribou.
Oh, there's the black bear.
Oh, yeah, he's a bigger individual. Gosh, he's a bold male. Whoa. You're seriously going to let that thing scare you off? They're sharing it? No way. This thing is whoa. Whoa. Oh my gosh. That's concerning.
Is that a hybrid?
No. No, those were both no, 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 no. Certain black bears will have like more of a cinnamon color sort of a look. That wasn't like some
Oh, I meant more because of the size.
no, it's just, the female has less weight on her from having to, fast during the summer and fall months, and that black bear, though, um, he just simply hasn't put on the berry weight yet. Her cub's healthy, though. She's making sure that he's getting plenty of food. That's a good mother. Um, wow. That is astonishing. Holy shucks. Okay, let's go to the next article. I was really concerned though that there wasn't going to be any black bear incident, and then all of a sudden, well, I still became concerned because it's like there's literally a black bear taking on a female polar bear, pulling the carcass from it. Wow. Okay. Here's the thing. There's like over. It's just that there's over like 600,000 black bears throughout North America. So from central Mexico all the way up to Alaska. And there's somewhere around 35,000 to 40,000 polar bears. Now their population is increasing, but it's just like there comes to a point where sometimes I feel like polar bears need to heighten up their aggressiveness a bit. Like they're sometimes they're too nice with grizzly bears and black bears. It comes to a point where it's just like show your
But not us.
oh yeah, that's true. But it's like we don't really okay, take away, weapons. Just never mind. Okay, so let's see.
Take away weapons from us?
No, 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 no. I don't support that. I what I meant was is just that, you know, just us with, any axes or without any, swords, guns. It's just uh, against most predators. Even a bobcat, people go, oh. So, I
Oh, you meant if they did take them away from us.
yeah, then we have our spear. I'm not sure how you would. I don't think you could take it out. Maybe if you were really good at like crushing watermelons or those guys have the ability to crush certain steel or iron pans. Maybe those guys could choke out a polar bear or a grizzly bear. It's certainly possible. But um anyway, it's just the thing with that. I'm really concerned for. Okay, let's keep going. WhiskeyRiff.com. Colorado wildlife photographer dives behind picnic table to avoid charging bull elk in Rocky Mountain National Park. Okay, let's see. And yet another story of animals in attack. A wildlife photographer at Rocky Mountain National Park in Colorado was forced to dodge some elk antlers this morning. It looks like they were set up in the perfect spot. In hindsight, maybe a little too perfect to capture some photos of elk activity when an elk got perturbed and charged. Okay, so it's estimated that over 280,000 elk live in Colorado. Well, if that's recent estimates, that's a massive increase. I'll have to take a look, which is enough to give the state the honor of housing the largest concentrated population of elk in the world. That is true still anyway. And I believe like the populations you find different parts of northeastern Asia are a bit lower in certain areas. Anyway, believe it or not, that many elk. Okay, yes, Estes Park. Let's see. So it's adjacent to Rocky Mountain National Park. It's northwest of Denver. Let's see. Yes, we are still going through the ruts at this point. But let's see what's going on. Okay, so they had to go diving behind a concrete picnic table. There's a lot of those to avoid a massive angry elk that was heading their way with its antlers in attack mode. This morning, a bull elk charged a photographer. Thankfully, no one was hurt. Just a good reminder. Okay. Oh, this looks fun.
It just looked around like,
Yeah, it's funny. They'll charge you, and then they'll just start bugling. Okay, I gotta search for females. So, love the elongated bugle there at the end as if it hadn't already established itself. It's okay, so let's see. Anything else? Yeah, that's pretty much it. Um, this is funny. This morning, I shared a video of this bull charging a photographer, and I've seen some harsh comments calling him names. That's really unfair. We were a safe distance away, standing by our cars, but no one approached the elk. What set this bull off was the fact that his cows were inside a fenced enclosure and he couldn't reach them. He was fired up and frustrated. Wildlife can be unpredictable, and sometimes things happen quickly, even when you're being careful. A little kindness, and understanding go a long way.
I think the bull just got mad that he was getting him from the wrong angle.
Yep. Is this something else?
He's gonna stop traffic.
Nothing's going to occur. He's just walking down the street, right? Unless he's going to charge the cameraman. Yeah, I don't think anything's happening. So is he taking the
He's
trailhead? Yeah.
he's going for a hike.
Yeah. I think that might be it. Okay. Well, glad both people are okay. So regarding the bull elk as well and the photographer. Okay, from fizz.org. First wolf dog hybrid confirmed in Greece. I wouldn't consider this amazing. Prominent Greek wildlife group on Friday said it had confirmed the first case of a wolf dog hybrid in the north of the country. The Callisto Group, which is currently involved in efforts to trap a rogue wolf in Halkidiki, northern Greece, said the hybrid was found near the northern city of Thessaloniki. This is the first genetic case to be confirmed in Greece. The animal is 45% wolf, 55% canine, according to DNA testing. It was discovered during tests on 50 wolf samples from the Greek mainland. It's probably due to the fact that um, the wolves over in Greece, because there's such a low supply of prey items such as roe deer, red deer in the country, but there's a heavy abundance of wild boar, but they tend to be hunting livestock in the country, and so they're coming into more contact with
Wait,
just
the
is
boar hunting livestock?
that what I said? Oh, I meant the wolves hunting the livestock. So, sometimes wild boars will go after certain domestic animals. But anyway, um, they're coming to contact with dogs more often, so that's just my guess. Um, hopefully this stops. While wolf dog hybrids had previously been reported in Europe, Central Asia, and the United States, that categorization largely stemmed from just the appearance of the animals. Later genetic testing has shown such hybrids are rarer than first thought. Oh, that's good to hear. The wolf population in Greece has been growing steadily in past years as a result of a 1983 hunting ban under the Berne Convention. Now, a hunting ban. Oh, it's hunting ban on the wolves. Okay. I thought he meant everything. I'm like, you got a boar problem. According to a recent 6-year study recently concluded by Callisto, it stands at 2,075 individuals. Whoa, wait a second. I swear recently, like I saw there was maybe like 1,000 wolves over in Greece. 2,000? Including at least 3 packs of a minimum of 31 wolves in the Mount Parnitha range and near Athens. I think it's 1,075 and not 2,000. Like, that's immense. Okay, so let's see. Unless we're talking about a mountain range that spans over several countries and it's just not hitting me. Still, though. It is currently mounting an operation to locate a young wolf that injured a 5-year-old girl from Serbia in the coastal resort of Neos Marmaris on September 12th. Hmm. While domesticated dogs while domesticated dogs came from a close relative to the gray wolf some 40,000 to 50,000 years ago, the story of their origin has shifted in recent times. They keep going back on where the domestic dog came from. So I really do not have anything on that either. So, long-standing popular theory. No, 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 no. Let's just focus on. Oh, okay, it's done. I hope that the pure gray wolf population in Greece continues to expand, but also that we see an increase in their other prey sources. But I would like it if those wolves start hunting boar. I mean, come on, give the livestock a break. Anyway, let's go on to the next article. I think they also have a lot of genetic variety there as well, so that's good to hear when it comes to the Greek wolf population. Okay, so moving forward from WCVB.com. Turtle treated for baseball-sized bladder stone at Massachusetts, Animal Hospital. Whoa! How? What?
That had to be painful.
How? What? uh, b but how? South Shore vets remove baseball-sized stone from turtle. What? New England Wildlife Center. So somewhere in the northeastern United States, doctors at South Shore Animal Hospital treated a turtle with a baseball-sized bladder stone on Wednesday, according to a social media post by the New England Wildlife Center. The Colonian had a 1-pound urolith stuck inside the turtle. So, geesh, their CT scan. Woo, that's scary. Geesh.
How did even I mean, just the pain that that would have to cause.
I just, how is it even alive? Maybe he doesn't feel pain. This is one of the larger stones we have seen. It took it took the collaboration of 3 of our expert turtle vets to get the job done. Wildlife officials say in extreme cases such as this, veterinarians need to remove part of the bone to create a window on the bottom of the shell to access the turtle's bladder and remove the stone. Though bladder stones are rare in wild colonians, they can be quite common in captive tortoises, especially those who live in arid environments. Keeping your tortoise hydrated with fresh water and regular soaks, feeding a high fiber, calcium rich diet that avoids too much protein or oxalates, making sure they get good UVB exposure, all help lower the risk of bladder stones. It's because many species of tortoises are vegetarian or herbivorous. So is that him? Wow. Okay. New England wildlife staff also emphasize the importance of. Oh, okay. Yeah, of course you would. What? That's it? So I'm guessing that he's in good condition now. This is one of the nuttiest things I've heard with the tortoise. So, a lot of tortoises, I will say, have quite wild or just there's some of the best escapeds when it comes to captive enclosures. They have incredible ability to just dig underneath fences, and next thing you know, the tortoise is over 2 miles away. So let's see for this. Let's go to another one. So let's see, MontanaOutdoor.com. Bear activity increasing near campsites at Ashland Ranger District. So this looks like somewhere in the west. Let's see. According to a recent press release, black bear sightings are on the rise near campsites on the Ashland Ranger District of the Custer Gallatin National Forest. It sounds like somewhere over in, I believe, Arizona or New Mexico. And with fall here, bears are in full eat all the food mode before hibernation. Okay, let's see. What? Oh, come on. well, so they keep mentioning, well, they're here. Just be careful. Don't bring anything with you, or they'll come over. Uh, which is yeah, pretty much true. Oh no! Oh, this is over in Montana. This isn't Arizona or New Mexico. Okay. Sometimes you can confuse some of the plants. The dodo woman looks in her garden and locks eyes with huge animal buried in mulch. She never expected that. The other day, a woman in Long Island, New York, glanced at her garden and saw something she never expected. A large animal was peeking out from beneath the soil, his narrow brown head almost blending in with the sticks and leaves. What do we have? A turtle without a giant stone? This surprising visitor was a snapping turtle. Perhaps he'd been searching for food or looking for a mate, or maybe other turtles bullied him out of his old territory. Whatever the case, this turtle had ventured far from home and into the woman's yard. Now he was lost with nowhere to turn, hiding in the mulch. Thankfully, the homeowner knew what to do. She called the turtle rescue of the Hamptons hotline. Turtle rescue of the Hamptons? Wow, I was actually not familiar with many of these rehabilitation or rescue centers. Like I've more familiar with larger animals like, big cats or you say certain rehabilitation centers that will take in black bears, but these turtle ones are new or lizard ones. Anyway, in no time a volunteer rescuer named Karen was headed to the scene. So let's see.
Is she going to complain the whole time she's getting the turtle?
Um Maybe. Okay, so let's see. Wow, so it seems to be in pretty good condition. He's definitely well fed. Yes, the alligator looks like an alligator snapping turtle. Karen carefully lifted the turtle out of the garden and placed him into a holding tub. The rescuer estimated the turtle was about 30 years old. Hmm. She could tell he was stressed, hungry, and scared. So she quickly moved him into her car and drove to a freshwater release site nearby. According to Turtle Rescue of the Hamptons, Executive Director Karen Testa, snapping turtles like this one can't eat unless they're in the water. That is true for many species of semi aquatic turtles or aquatic turtles in general. They need to have access to water, either else they simply can't produce the saliva to swallow, or more or less digest their own food. And within sometimes less than an hour, they can simply perish, mainly when it comes to hatchlings. But larger ones, they have a bit more time, but it doesn't take long and then they'll just perish. This isn't like, tortoises over or certain turtles over in the West. These turtles don't have saliva, so they need the water to help them swallow food. So, like I said, that's why it's so important to get snapping turtles safety as soon as possible. If they're not near water, they will starve. Yep. Luckily, in this case, Karen got the snapping turtle to the release site in time, back where he belonged. The turtle gleefully paddled away. He was extremely happy to be home. Oh, that's good. I'm glad it was a successful rescue mission. So let's head over to the next article. Okay, so from MontanaOutdoor.com, let's see where they take us this time. Okay, something to do with cougars. Large predator relocation notification law goes into effect. Okay, I wonder what this is. When Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Parks relocates a large predator, it is required to communicate this to local and tribal governments under a new law that went into effect October 1st. In anticipation of this law, earlier this summer, FWP, or Fish, Wildlife, and Parks, began informing county sheriffs, county commissioners, and tribal governments within the county or tribal government boundaries where a large predator is relocated. The new law requires that notification take place within 24 hours of the capture of a large predator if it will be relocated into a county or tribal government boundary other than the one it was captured in. Communication with local governments is critical in ensuring a broad understanding of what we do for wildlife management. Um, okay, so let's see. In Montana, large predators, mountain lions, wolves, and bears. FWP doesn't relocate mountain lions or wolves, but commonly relocates bears, both black and grizzly. Really? I I thought they were relocating in different areas like mountain lions or wolves. Now, granted, I have seen quite a bit of footage of them releasing bears, but maybe this makes sense to why I hadn't seen any footage of the other two predators. For years, FWP has published bear relocations on its website. This summer, it launched a dashboard with black and grizzly bear relocations. This tool is in addition to directly notifying local governments. But that's it. I thought it was going to show us like a video or a picture of them releasing cougars or wolves, but apparently, like it said, they don't. Well, that was unfortunate. Um, anyway, let's head over to the next article.
Okay, this is a feel good slash eh.
Okay. So, abcnews.go.com, cheetah cubs destined for illegal trade in exotic pets rescued in Somaliland. 11 cheetah cubs, wow, were rescued from illegal trade in Somaliland in what a conservationist said was one of the largest confiscations of the species. Yeah, this is quite remarkable. Who knows? They could have been headed to a boring life in Dubai. So, Nairobi, Kenya, 11 cheetah cubs were rescued from illegal trade in Somaliland in what a conservationist described on Thursday as one of the largest confiscations of the species. The cubs were packed in bags that resembled sacks of potatoes and were being transported in a small dhow off the Somaliland coast at Berbera when the local Coast Guard intercepted them on Sunday. Two locals and three Yemenis were arrested during the rescue operation, and the cheetahs were taken to a rescue center owned by the Cheetah Conservation Fund, or CCF. Somaliland, a breakaway region of Somalia. I was confusing that with Swaziland or Lesotho, which is a little area right in the midst of South Africa. But this is this is Eastern Sub Saharan Africa. So let's see. Is a major transit hub for the illegal wildlife trade. Hundreds of cheetahs and leopards from the Horn of Africa have been transported to Gulf countries through the Gulf of Aden. Possession of wildlife is illegal in Somaliland, and police often crack down on suspected traders. In August, local authorities arrested two people and rescued another 10 cheetah cubs that were destined for the Gulf. CCF founder Lori Marker said the rescued cubs were very malnourished and were being reintroduced to food slowly, starting with fluids. The cubs were in very poor condition. One died only a few hours after arriving at CCF's center, although in ICU and critical care administered. Another died the next day under same conditions. Two others are in critical care, one of which is in very bad state. The other seven are responding. Marker, whose center now has 128 rescued cheetahs, said the illegal trade in cheetahs was driving the species into extinction. And let me know in the chat if you think cheetahs should be introduced to certain parts of North America so they have, an area with a surplus amount of prey, but they're also less likely to be poached or, in this case,
Would they hunt
sold.
wild boar or hogs?
They might hunt. They'll hunt young, like warthog. So therefore, they would hunt young feral pigs. But if they're released in certain parts of like the Midwest, probably certain parts of Wyoming, or there's a wide range of areas you could possibly introduce them to. Anyway, but mainly so their population could skyrocket and um, very less likely to be sold or poached. Cheetahs are okay. So let's see. Is that it? Um, do. That's it. Well, I'm glad that they were rescued. So that's good to hear. It's unfortunate that two passed, but it's good to see with them surviving. So let's see. From abc.net.au, endangered numbat stressed by overeager nature photographers, authorities say. Let me know in the chat if you love numbats or what your favorite species of small marsupial is.
Or photographers stress you?
Yeah, too. Numbats are found in the Triandra Woodlands National Park in southern um, Western Australia. Usually photographers tend to be quite far away from the animal. I mean, uh, uh, like when an article or a study tries to claim, well, hiking is having a major impact on, um, like elk migration routes. That makes somewhat more sense, especially if you have millions of people flocking to a certain area each year. Like Rocky Mountain National Park over in Colorado gets at least 2.5 million visitors each year. Yellowstone National Park gets around 4. Greater Smoky Mountain National Park over in Tennessee, North Carolina gets around 6. So depending on where. I mean, that makes sense, but this seems funny. Anyway, let's keep going. So they are particularly concerned for numbats, the endangered species found in the Triandra Woodland National Park, about 170 kilometers southeast of Perth. So, Department of Biodiversity Conservation and Attractions Wheatbelt Regional Manager Mitchell Davis said the department was getting reports of poor behavior by people trying to photograph numbat joeys. Now, here's the thing I'm thinking of with like a long lens. If this is with phones, okay, that's a different situation. And we've all seen what's been going on with Yellowstone with all the selfies amongst bison. Some guy went up to a grizzly bear and like sometime in the spring, it looked like that was a new one. Anyway, okay, so this is at the Perth Zoo. That doesn't count.
I was gonna say that thing doesn't look stressed.
Yeah, he's just like, do you have grubs or, or mealworms in that container? So the reports include groups of people crowding around the den entrances, as well as removing rocks and sticks to clear their shots so they can get the better shot. Wow. This time of year is particularly sensitive as the young numbats are emerging from burrows. Disturbance can cause stress in the animals. Yeah, obviously, you're ruining their whole den. They're thinking a dingo is trying to eat them, or worse. Oh, okay, that's about as bad as you can get because they're trying to eat them. Anyway, um, Matthew Swinburne says people should be respectful towards numbats. I don't know who he is. Let's see. The warning comes on the same day. Western Australia Environment Minister. Um, anyway, okay. What a press conference at the Perth Zoo. About 7 numbat joeys born there. 4 of the joeys are set to be released into the wild later this year. Mr. Swinburne urged people taking photos of the endangered species in the wild to do the right thing. Yeah, that's so helpful. Okay. Um, seriously, that's your response? Grow up? Okay. What do you see a numbat? Don't be a numbskull. Anyway. So, um, let's see. Yeah, I thought originally they were from a distance. The description of what's going on is horrible. Yeah, I know. I disagree too, pal. Let's see. Okay, anything else like specifically about them? Um, there's a Oh, I remember this group, the Western Australia Numbat Task Force. I just imagine a bunch of minions going out to help the Numbats. Anyway, um, last month, an investigation was launched into a paddleboarder who got too close to a southern right whale mother and a calf while filming them. What? What are you investigating? First of all, was it accidental? Because this seems kind of hard to do. Maybe if they're feeding somebody went over, but still, I'm like,
What happens if the whale just gets annoyed?
well, yeah, that too. It would just crush the person. That's I understand like, what's going on with the numbats to an extent, but that's nuts. Okay, let's head to the final article. The Numbat Task Force. So they're just wallabies. Anyway, the bedfordcitizen.org. Goats help clean up invasive species in Bedford. Yeah, not Bedford. Um, yes, goats have actually been used to help decrease certain invasive species of plants, especially like certain shrubs, and it can help when seeding with native plant seeds. So let's see what's going on here. So goats arrive at Huckins Farm with hail shots. The visitors foraging in Bedford aren't goats, as in Tom Brady or Serena Williams. What? But actual goats named Opal, Pearl, and Milano with hollow horns. But okay, didn't who would confuse? I don't get it. Um, Shots refers to herself as a goatherd, based on her command of her goat charges and her love for them. Shots Goodwin Hill goat entourage includes several generations of Nigerian goats. Shots uses a family-based care model, so mom goats are never separated from their young. Shots understands the goats, knowing their personalities and recognizing their moods. She is their leader, and they follow her instinctively. They're just like, let me finish this push before we move forward. Okay. Anyway, Schatz entered the world of goats after traveling mountain regions of the Middle East. That's funny. There to teach nutrition programs, she observed their villagers with their goats. She noted that the goat nutritional products, such as milk and yogurt, aligned with her own nutrition programs. I would think if you're over in England, you would just um, get into goat farming, but okay. Oh, this place in the United States? I thought we were in England. Okay. Back in the United States, Schatz continues her work with goats, nutrition, and nature. For 17 years, she has taken her goats foraging in Lexington's conservation areas. These treks are purposeful, intent on making sure that the goats not only have a healthy diet, but also maintain their foraging instincts. While foraging, the goats eagerly consume invasive species. Recently, Schatz has made Bedford another regular destination for foraging. Schatz's former Lexington neighbor, Ashley Rooney, did not forget Schatz or the goats when she moved to Bedford. At her new residence in Carlton Willard Village, Rooney initiated foraging visits to help control invasive plant growth near the community gardens. She admired the leadership role that Schatz plays in the goats' lives. She also enjoys hearing the jingle of the bells that the goats wear around their necks, a jingle that resembles wind chimes. Many other residents at Carlton Willard watch the goats at work around the gardens. Some stroll outdoors for the up close sights, sounds, and smells, while others enjoy the goats from a bit further away, watching from the windows like some cartoon as the creatures nibble away. Okay. Let's see. Summer. Okay. Anyway. Okay. So the goats, yes, they're helping. These look like very wise goats. Oh, so okay, so sounds like she also sells cheese.
There were two separate stories on this. Let's see if the other
Did you
one.
carry them all in the car?
Hold on.
Wow. This is another one.
Is this the same? Is this a different one?
Cardinal News, serving Southwest and Southside Virginia. This is Wasena neighborhood. Might be a different one. Valley Avenue Park. It's not mentioning anything about Bedford. Amber's one of more than 20 goats and sheep eating their way through a Roanoke park. Oh, this is over North Carolina. Okay, well, let's call it. Oh, this was quite interesting. Hope you enjoyed the stream. And from prehistoric to present, my name is Ethan. This is Creature Guide Live Daily News. Remember to like, comment, subscribe if you love talking about animals, and share this show with everyone you know. Because nothing is better than